What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Empowering My Field. For those of you who know, I am Matt, paranormal consultant. Tonight is a very special night because my guest is amazing. um, uh, I just want to say to those who didn't get to see my little catch-up update video, for those of you who don't know, I did go to the hospital a couple days ago. Um, I'm fine. I'm okay. Short version, had a ganglion cyst pop in my wrist. Had some issues with that. Body's recovering. I appreciate all the sentiment that you guys gave me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. It means a lot. But I'm still here with the surgery and everything else going on. It's looking pretty obvious. It's hard to get rid of me. You could ask the Wicked Queen. But tonight I have an absolutely amazing guest. And to give you guys an idea of why I love StreamYard, you guys know me. I love the network. I love talking with people. I love meeting people. And we were talking yesterday, and she'll tell you this too when we bring her up. I don't usually, try to connect with everybody. Otherwise, I'd be really busy, and I don't have the time for it. But I saw this profile that just stuck out. It was like instinct, just boom, connect. Didn't even read anything like that. And I'm so blessed that I did, because we got to talking and we were on it was supposed to only be like a 10 to 15 minute conversation. It ended up being almost 2 hours. So that tells you how awesome of the guest she is. I'll let her tell her resume, but please, guys, give a very, very, very warm and loving welcome to my lovely guest, Miss Debbie Duncan. What's up, Debbie?
Hi, Matt. Oh my gosh. It really was crazy because I'm the same as you. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to collaborate with anyone or whatever. And and then I saw your little ghost and I go, okay, I'm going to do that. But the crazy thing that everybody needs to know, that once we got on and in minutes, we knew the same people. Like
Yep,
my best friends are your close friends. I mean, those are one of those, what's the odds? It's meant to be put together. Spirit made that happen. And
absolutely.
so I had the best fun because I said it's going to be 15 minutes. I go,
Yep.
yeah, I'll be back in 15 minutes, you guys. And I just like, whoa, we laughed and we told the best stories. I had so much fun.
Oh,
So glad.
it was, and like I said, it was an absolute blessing. And I even said the same thing to the Wicked Queen. I said, I just got a short meeting. It's not going to be long. She just looked at me, and for those of you who know the Wicked Queen, she looked at me in her usual 15. Okay, I'll time it. And 2 hours later, I came upstairs, and she goes, "That was a long 15 minutes." And I went, "Love you."
And I love her already, and so we have things in common since I'm Wiccan trained, and my thing that I do best that I'm trained in is protection.
I
So
need
on
some.
all those paranormal investigations and all that, and clearing houses and going in after things. The one thing that our friend, Janine and Chris, the one thing that we do is, we're not afraid. I know you're not when you go into these places. Because nothing like I hate when you're watching TV and those paranormal investigators book it out of there screaming. I'm like,
Yep.
go the other way. You run towards it, not. And once in a while, I know I was watching and somebody got scratched, and all of a sudden they've got them bundled up, and it's a big thing. And I'm like, I've been there. You just got scratched. But
Mhm.
when I go on an investigation, do you take first aid or a first aid person?
Always. Well, I'm actually CPR qualified,
Okay.
and I was a first responder with the military,
Oh,
so
great.
I do have a background. But and what's funny is I think that's something that a lot of investigators and see, folks, we're even off topic already. I was gonna have you introduce, but
We're in our own topic.
yeah. If you know the show, you know the show. This is what I do. But but that's one thing I think a lot of investigative teams forget about is they try to, you know, plan, I want to say, the activity and the investigation. But what they don't remember to do is have a plan in place for a medical emergency
Yeah.
or the physical in case something were to happen. And that's something. And actually, Debbie knows, and it has had get some interaction with my first team, San Diego Paranormal Eye, SDPE. That's something that we've trained. We've actually put in place, and investigation, whether it's a client, whether it's just out and about having fun, whether it's an exploratory investigation, whatever, you always have to have some kind of backup plan and emergency plan in place in case something were to happen. I mean, we even had it over the radio. You'd say something over the radio, everybody would, be quiet, and you say what's going on, and you react as such.
Right. What we did is we would do the 10th Avenue Art Center in Art Deco building that outside of the bathroom. It's all original, guys. Terrifying inside. It has the rooftop. Has the Hat Man is in the basement. I've got that good story. But we would have walkie-talkies. We would have people always guarding the door downstairs. This was an old church. And then they would have somebody up on the floor we're on, wherever the crowd was, because we were taking people out all the time. We had some people that lasted like 3 minutes. And they were like, I'm out of here. Especially there's a small theater up second or third floor. There's a small theater. And it makes you nauseous, weaken the knees and all of that. And we are very skeptic. We go, how's the ventilation, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And we had a lot of people go out. And I am going to fess up. I never have problems. I never, I go right in. I go after if it's a demon or whatever, I'm there.
Yep.
Well, one night we were doing Halloween stuff, and we had the crowd in the small theater where we have a lot of on the stage, a lot of paranormal activity. And we've had a couple people go out but not leave. And I was over at the front door, and I walked in like 8 steps, and I just, whoa.
Yep.
And I said, my knees started to go, and I'm like, gosh, darn it, all the way out.
Yep, been there.
So mad. You kind of go against the wall, steady yourself, or sit on the floor. And I was really mad, and I really couldn't stay in there too much the rest of the night. And that's the first time that's ever happened to me. So I don't know what was in there. There's a lot of stuff. There's a murder room. I do seances in there, all kinds of crazy stuff. I can tell you guys about what it feels to have a ghost go through you, because that's happened there too. But it's a great place. But we always had a backpack with the space blanket, bottles of water. We always had, things. And sometimes you have to just get them out of the building.
And, that's something too, as a consultant, some people have asked me, what do you do in these types of instances? Number one thing, get them off the property.
Yeah.
Just, it's not just get them into the front yard or the backyard. Get them off that property, or across the street, do something.
Yeah, they need to get away. So you had asked about a resume, and I was like, a resume? Well, let me give you guys a short version. So I was born psychic. I always knew I could tell people what was going to happen. I was super lucky. One thing that I thought everybody could do is fill a force field around their body as hard as a rock. I go, Well, why would I tell anyone? Don't they have that? So I went about my life and all of that. And then in midlife, I had a near-death experience. And so I was psychic up to then. And then this happened. And I was convalescing and walking through the dining room at home when a man's voice talked to me. And I moved my head. And that was not my thought. And he told me something important. And I go, okay, are you stroke? You feel like it? Heart attack? Are you all right? Yeah, because I'm looking for something, an ER visit,
Yeah.
I was fine. And so I remembered what he said. And he said, He told me that my brother-in-law had terminal esophageal cancer.
Mm.
He told me that he needed to go buy necklaces for the girls, for his girls.
Hmm.
And I said, is that the weirdest thing? Now, I knew he was sick, but there was no terminal in that at all. Matter of fact, he had a PET scan. They thought he was going to be fine, have some surgeries, fine.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's this crazy thing, and I'm not going to tell him he needs to get necklaces for his girls. That this makes no sense. So time went by where I found myself going to the department store and buying necklaces because it went around in my head. I said, please, I don't want to be going crazy. But I took them home and put them up in a guest room and put them in a closet. And I said, well, I don't know. Well, they came back for his surgery and his girls were here. We did find out it was terminal. They just sewed him back up everywhere, unlike what the scan showed. And then we were upstairs and I had the girls all on the bed. And I said, something goofy, crazy's been going on. I said, I felt so compelled. And I turned around and I got these little boxes out that your dad had to buy you guys all necklaces that I bought necklaces. And their jaws were open, dropped down. And I go, what? And they went and they pulled out each one of them diamond crosses that their dad had bought for them and for my sister. And then I go, okay, that was weird. What's going on here? I took an early retirement from the government where I was a branch manager in the sciences, and I went to Encinitas. You know how you could go to the bookstores here and get a reading?
Yep.
I went to one, and I picked this one person out. Did not know she's the best in Southern California. I had to wait all day. I said, "What's with this?" But I wanted to wait, and she blew me away. She said, you have a son. Yeah. He's 21. Yes. And then she goes, you've written a children's book. Why haven't you done anything with it? And I went, I'm listening.
That's a good way to get your attention.
Yeah. So I took a class on tarot reading and I blew everybody away. I went to psychic development class with people. I thought they were going to be full of hippies. You know what hippies are. I go, these people are going to be, and there's going to be smoke, and I don't know what I'm getting into. They were all professors from UCSD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I blew everybody away in my predictions and everything, psychometry, everything. And it surprised me. I don't know what I'm doing. And so anyway, short story, I started started a meetup. I have 816 people. I've never advertised it. And I have those people in it here in San Diego. And that's where I met our friends, Janine and Chris. And we formed our little band. And we did, houses and mostly graveyards, which you and me, we know about these graveyards here. And then I got into really international reading. I have very, very highly rated and thousands and thousands of, top reviews and stuff. And I started, doing homicides. And I was asked to find a missing person where I found exactly where they were. And I got the whole story. I get the whole stories when these people go missing. And I have a story about a serial killer also. And so here I am. I started channeling. I teach everything, you guys, all the Wiccan stuff, everything. And we have fun times. But I wrote a book, which I think you might be getting. Deborah O'Hara and the Portals Through Time. This is a book that is like 99% historically correct. And it also talks about my real seances where I went and got a code word, just like Houdini and his wife had. I pulled a code word from a portal for someone, and all the readings that were really great. But it's a great science fiction, historical piece of work, novel, and that was fun. But I started writing kids kids' books, and it's all channeled. So you guys know channeling means that I ask the spirit to come in, they come in, and I sit and type for 2 days. And then I come out with like a book. And I started Fig Willow series. This one's fun. And I got 18 of those. And what I really loved gifting Matt and his
Oh,
family were my little Wiccan books. This is Litha. And you'll be getting them 20th and the 21st in the mail.
I
But
saw that. Thank you very much. My Wicked Queen is ecstatic. She can't wait.
oh, fun. It's fun. And so anyway, that's what I do. You said that I didn't know that you had, hurt yourself. I'm also a healer because when you guys you find your spiritual gift or whatever, there's more. And
Oh
you
yeah.
can just ask for it. And one day I go, just like missing persons. They said, where is this person? I go like, physically, where is he? I've never done that. And then I went, can I do this? And I go, okay. And in 1 hour I had the address where he was. And so, the deal is when you said that, I go, well, I can send you healing. And I have 2 crazy stories. Do we have a minute?
By all
Oh my
means.
God. So I do healing, and the first time I ever did it was actually my sister. She was so worried that she was going to be blind because they found this aneurysm behind her eye. Can you do something? And I thought, wow, pretty much I just play at standing and grabbing the white light. I don't know if I'm doing it right? And so I said, well, I'll try. And so you guys know what it's like to have a copy machine, and we've all looked. We've all been dumb enough to look at that light that goes through.
Several times.
Right? Yeah, we have to get it right, or we're Xeroxing our face. I've seen that. But I envisioned that white light going through and through and through. So I took some time, and I have YouTube on Psychic Fixes. I have a healing video with David Starlight, who is a Buddhist. We did one together, and then I have the one on how I heal on there. And so I did that for my sister, and she had already had the photograph and all that stuff. And so they said, okay, you're going tomorrow to the person that's going to have to, take care of the specialty here, ophthalmologist or whatever. And she went, and of course he had to have his own picture and all that. And he goes, nothing's there. That doesn't happen. Takes a long time with medicine. Nothing's there. And I go, okay, well, maybe something was wrong with the scan. I don't know. And then I started doing more and more, and it just crazy. And I had people that would call me and said, "Do you send me last night some energy, some healing?" I say, "I did," and they go, "I knew it because I was full of energy and did stuff like that." But I got a call from my sister, and she goes, "Debbie, something's going on in my house," and I go, "What?" Like, oh my gosh, I've got to go cast out a demon or something. A fallen angel. Well, I couldn't do that. Nobody can. But anyway, she goes, at night, we have our windows in our living room, and then we have the blinds, and then we have blackout drapes, and nothing's on there because we use the family room. Mm-hmm. But we go in there because there's light hanging in the middle of the room. And I go, okay. And she goes, we look everywhere. We look at the outlets. We look at any machinery. Nothing's on, but all this light is lighting up the room. And I said, I'm sorry, I sent that. And so that's when I found out, okay, you can send energy. And you can send healing, and how you find out about what your gift is you try it over and over and over. And when it works and it's validated, you can do it. So that's one thing I can do for you is to send a little extra healing if you like.
Appreciate it. I need all the help I can get.
Is it right or left? What
right.
side is it on? Right. Okay. Let me just write that down.
But you said a very important word, and I think a lot of people forget about, and that's validation. That's one thing that I love. And to me, that builds credibility. Because I know there's a lot of skeptics out there. There's a lot of people who don't believe in other people's gifts and abilities and stuff like that. But when someone uses the word validation, that to me means they have enough confidence in themselves in their spiritual gifts to be able to put themselves out there to get validated. Because let's be honest, folks, whether you're a paranormal investigator like myself, who I don't have any abilities or gifts or anything like that, I'm sensitive to the electromagnetic field. That's it. Uh, we always want to validate. We always want to make sure that any evidence we put out is legit evidence. It's truth.
Yep.
And it's the same way to me whenever someone has some sort of ability or gift. It's if somebody says they've been validated, they can be validated. Okay, I'm sold. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
You say that word, say no more.
It's everything, Matt. It's everything. And what it is for the person, the medium or the psychic person, I tell all my students, I said, so you get a glass jar and it has a lid, and you're going to be putting in the most luscious, wonderful psychic cookies in there.
Mhm.
Every time you're validated, I want you to put that psychic cookie, no calories, no sugar, no nothing. It's so good for you. And build it up. The more cookies that you have in your jar, the more confidence you have.
Mhm.
And I always tell myself, once you ever go and you go, oh, I'm wrong, and way off, I'm not validated or whatever, that would be when I'm stopping, the day I'm stopping.
No,
But
absolutely.
I've done so much that I know what I can do. And I can't go into the thousands of people that I've done that have said, oh, that wouldn't happen, or, this or that. And then to get me in a day or two and say, ah, my God, you were right, and I do people, and I also feel that, I don't like fake psychics and people that scam for money. I always had a pact with the other side. If somebody needed me, it was urgent and they need me, it's free.
Yeah.
And it's the best. Just like every good reading, it's going to be a great reading. So I have these live shows that I do once in a while, but I'm doing one now with Maddie Tarot, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we have, they're free readings.
Wonderful show, by the way. I stopped in last night, and
It's fun.
you know what? Maddie has such a beautiful personality.
Sitting.
I think him and I would get along great.
We're opposite in a big way, where Maddie is really through experience and self-education. I mean, he could put a shingle out as a psychologist. I mean, he has this way of making you feel good and telling you things and this and that and flowery. And Debbie's like, oh my gosh, get rid of him, kick him to the curb. I mean, right now. And I want you to watch your money and block him on social. I'll tell you all of it. And so we're so opposite that way, but it makes it so great. It makes it so great on how we do it. I read, I think, differently than almost every psychic I've ever saw, and in giving details and stuff. But it's just a lot of fun and doing that show. But there are free readings there. I went through the years, and I've met Sylvia Brown a few times, and everything, and we all know that there were some problems at the end of her life, but there was a thing that always got me as to how much money way back when, decades ago, it was like $670. That was a house payment and car payment.
Yeah.
And I always said, never thought that there has to be a way of being fair and being available to everybody. And that's why we give our free readings. We make sure that it's a good reading for everybody. But I'm confident in what I do. So I do celebrities, mostly sports celebrities, and I do celebrities that have businesses, major corporation in America, CFOs, CEOs. And I have to vet things, and I look at a lot of investments. I help people go and grow to be multimillionaires.
Oh,
So
wow.
I feel like, I do all that. But the bulk of everything I do is look at love and money. People always want to know that. So it was a gift, and I said, God gave me this gift, and I'm going to, do this. And I got into more things. So step into other things. If you have a gift, I sit down and I was telling Matt about past lives. I go, anybody could go, and what are they going to say? You're Queen of Egypt. That's what they think.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people came and said I was Cleopatra, And I'm like, I don't think so.
Maybe Cleopatra had multi-personalities. I don't know.
And then there was, and I go, so I don't really feel like it's a good venue to go into, because how do you validate that?
Yeah.
Until I did. And
Sure.
we streamed live seances, which was fun. And after one, we were sitting, and I'll skip what happened prior to that. That was kind of amazing thing that I found for someone, but it's a little gruesome. But I went to a medium that was doing this seance with us. I said, let's try it. Because somebody said, we got to get somebody that does it. I thought, I'm not going to have anybody making up stuff in my group. And then I go, let's just try it out. So I went and I said, can I do a past life on you? And I don't know what I'm doing, but can I touch your hand? So we took hands, and then a vision of a little girl came up. And I can see, whenever I'm looking at someone that passed, what floats up here is the age where they passed, a number. And then I get a ticker tape going backwards, because I read and write upside down. And I can write backwards, and I can do it print or cursive. It's something I did as a child, which Matt makes no money.
You know what?
No money.
You know what? If it's any consolation, I can barely read, period. So, I mean, we spoke about this yesterday. So, for you to be able to do that,
it's just one of those weird things. And then I see motion pictures here in my site, or I see still photography, sometimes in color, but mostly black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So I took her hand, and I see the little girl, and she's 3 years old. And then it comes down, and she shows me her shoes and socks. I said, she's showing me her shoes and socks. She's proud about her shoes and socks. Then it was just her socks, her socks, her socks. I said, she's really, really excited and proud and wants you to know about the socks. I thought, this does not work. This isn't real. This is, what am I making up? Mm-hmm. And I said, but it's the socks. And then the picture went up to muddy, wet little feet. And I went, oh my God. And she's a medium, a good medium. She goes, I died in a flood, didn't I? And I said, yes, your feet are wet and muddy, and you died in the debris of a natural flooding. And she said, I always knew that. But she says, let me tell you about the socks. And I said, well, like what? She says, I'm crazy about socks. I collect socks for every freaking holiday, TV show, movie, you name it. I have the socks. And then I go, 2 + 2. That was validated. And from then on, when I do these past life readings, I do them in person, by the way, I get something that is huge in their life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, then I go, yes, as long as you get validated, you catch something, and it's not the queen of whatever and the king of whatever, and you catch something that your client or the person you're just doing this for can say, yes, I know about that. I have a connection to that. Then you got it. Then you can do it.
Absolutely. And, again, it's validation. It's 100% validation. So before we go on a break, I just want to let everybody in the audience know I really appreciate all the comments that you guys are doing. You guys are awesome. I love it. And I'm even seeing people over from Debbie's side joining today's stream. I want to say welcome to you guys. It's great to have you here.
I just figured out I didn't have the comments on. And I do Streamline all week long. And I go, I can't see anything. And then I see Shawana and Christy. Christy is a medium, and she's calling in Erica Burt, also in a medium, to watch.
That is awesome. You guys are awesome. And I want to say welcome. Welcome to the show. I really appreciate you guys being here, being supportive of this. But we are going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, Debbie, we have to get on San Diego. We have to get on stories when we come back on San Diego because,
We got it.
as you know, besides the history, the spirits there are completely different than anywhere else.
They are.
And I
It's very, very special. And we have the most haunted, stories for you when we come back.
Oh, absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break. We have, I want to play our usual video for Parapost Network. If you don't know what Parapost Network Central is, please stay tuned and watch, and please show support to every show that you see on here. And we have a brand new promo video, commercial, if you will, for healthempowersyou.net. So we'll be right back, guys, after this quick break. Welcome back, everybody. We are here today for Empowering My Field with the awesome Debbie. Welcome back, Debbie. Before we continue on, we are going to give our usual shout outs. You saw the videos. You saw the first one that was in the beginning of the show for Global Ghost Hunt. Guys, if you don't know what the Global Ghost Hunt is, go check it out at globalghosthunt.com. It is a 10-day, so 20 days celebration of teams and locations from all over the United States and the world. You heard me right, from the world. In just celebrating the paranormal, celebrating the team, celebrating the locations, and just having a really good time bringing people together and just having fun in true paranormal fashion. No special effects, no nothing like that. Myself and the rest of the admin team, we love what we do. None of us get paid for any of it. It is all volunteered on our end, and it is so much fun to do. It is a lot of fun. We are just finishing up the second year. October registration is now open. So head on over to globalghosthunt.com and check it out. You also saw the Parapost Network Central. I was telling Debbie about it yesterday. If you haven't heard of Parapost, welcome to the show, because I love Parapost. It is a literal paranormal Facebook. No drama, no BS, none of that. Head over to parapost.net, sign up today. All you need is an email. That's it. Leave your wallet wherever it's at. You don't need it. You sign up for free, start networking right then and there. And Parapost Network Central is a wonderful place on Facebook to where you'll see not only this show, but many other amazing shows. You saw them in the video. Guys, I can't tell you how much I love my Parapost family. We support each other. We care about each other. And we are always looking for new shows, and it doesn't have to be paranormal. Like, I do my gaming on there. I'm going to be doing some fishing on there as well. Mechanics, arts and crafts. It doesn't matter. Come on over to Parapost Network Central and join the family today. And finally, I have to talk about my sponsor. You heard me right. Health Empowers You. You saw that last video. Brand new video. I just put it out today. It is something that, you guys know me. I'm not the healthiest guy. I'm not. I love my junk food and I love my energy drinks, but I actually picked up the recipes for the smoothies. You get over 200 smoothies, over 200 for less than $10. You heard me right. It's basically a recipe book in PDF form for under $10. And if you use a code PC05, you get another discount on top of the already discounted price. And what's really cool about it is there's everything from cognitive health, sleep, mental, everything. There's everything for everybody. I personally love they have a strawberry banana smoothie thing. Oh, that is amazing. And, like the video says, you make it. So you know what's going in it. You know it's healthy. You know what is going into your drink. And, Health Empowers You is going to be starting with teas and coffees very soon. So head on over to healthempowersyou.net. Again, use code PC05 and get yourself a little bit of a discount as well. And I want to say a huge thank you to them for sponsoring myself and many others. We have they sponsor a lot of amazing people. So we are here today with the awesome Debbie. I know, believe it or not, Debbie, even that wasn't scripted. I don't have a script in front of me. But Debbie is an amazing soul. She is absolutely amazing. We had a lot of fun speaking yesterday, and if you missed the first half, go back. You want to hear her story because it is an amazing story. And honestly, Debbie, what I want to talk about now, because I'm just so excited. You're from San Diego,
right?
San Diego area. That's where I started my paranormal journey. And little did we know yesterday, we have some very common friends. And those two, and I'll even call them out if they're watching, Janine and Chris, they were the ones who got me into it. I give them credit. So I always blame a guy named Mr. Fedora, Scott Morton. I don't know if he's watching or if he's being fedorable in the background. I always blame him for the shows. The shows are the reason why, or Fedora is the reason why you have the shows. You're stuck with me. But Janine and Chris are two beautiful individuals who got me into the paranormal field. They really got me going. And I want to talk about one location that you and I spoke about at length, and that's Pioneer Park.
Pioneer Park, yes.
So to give you guys a little backstory on Pioneer Park, I'll give you the shortened version. So it used to be a cemetery. And for some reason, the city just decided we don't want to deal with it anymore. So they turned it into a literal park. And on top of that, you would think they would have a little respect and move headstones and, do whatever they. Nope, they left the bodies right there. They bulldozed the headstones, put them in this ravine area, built a school next to it, and there's been activity ever since. So, Debbie, what I want to talk to you about is when you first heard of Pioneer Park, what was your reaction?
Um, they got me there before I knew it, what had happened there.
Mm.
And of course, and you have this little story about that ravine. I went right over there and let's get the H out of here. But the deal is, when they told me, I'm horrified and angry.
Yep.
It fell into disrepair. Nobody wanted to take care of it. And that's why now, you guys, you're going to hear this story, but no, this wasn't in the 1800s. This was in modern day times that they went and thought, this is a good idea. We're going to barbecue over here and the playground there. And all the dead people are here and under the parking lot. Under the parking lot are where the ministers and the priests are. Yep. And okay. So we can't have the headstones, beautiful headstones. I was just saying to Matt, the calcite, full giant calcite cross. Oh, to die for. And that's all damaged. Yep. And they bulldozed everything down into that ravine, down the canyon. And then they just said, okay, everybody's going to be having fun. Now, when it rains, it makes a depression of an outline of a coffin in one tree, under a tree. Yep. I would be saying I'm out of here. And other than that, it's nice grass and everything. There is over at one side is a children's burial area. They know children's are there. Pretty much don't know where anybody is, but they have their names. And then so they bulldozed all that down. And finally somebody caught on and said, well, this wasn't right. And I was like, you think how bad this was that you guys did this?
Hindsight 2020.
So and Matt knows that they went and got some of the headstones they could salvage, but not all of them. And they stuck them in a row. They're all in one row. It's insane. And the paranormal activity of the big wampum tree, the little tree with the girl and the grandpa, the children's playground being so haunted. And you can get very hurt there because Chris got really hurt there. Yeah. So I mean, the stories are crazy. I have a story, but I know you have stories too.
Yeah, actually, one thing that you said about the row of headstones that they have there. Mm-hmm. Two things. One, it's all the popular / famous individuals. I found that kind of interesting. Right. But what's really intriguing to me is that is literally a boundary. If you step on one side, it has a completely different feel than the other side. Like, to give you guys an idea, there's probably about, I'd say, 15 yards, so about between the row of headstones and the ravine area. Right. And then the other side is the park. Once you cross from the park to the ravine side, it's a whole different feel. Yeah. It's heavy. It's cold. I want to say it's almost like there's a lot of energy.
Well, we also know there's an entity down there.
Yeah. For those of you who follow my show and have heard my story before, I talk about this park that had this black figure about 8 to 10 feet tall with red eyes. That's the place. That is 100% the place. And that was one of my first experiences in the paranormal field, was right there.
Yeah, because Janine told me, and when you started talking about it, and I'm like, red eyes, red eyes. I said, Janine told me about that, but they heard this. They heard the scream or the moans or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's when I said, well, where I'm perched right, the school is behind me, and I'm like this because it's downhill, right? And I go, you never want to put your place where a little demon can go, witchy, and there you go, So I said, let's get out of here. I don't need this today.
And the look that you had yesterday was amazing and great, because one thing I told Debbie about that location is not just did my team and I check out the paranormal side of it, We also went and did some archaeological digs. We found some glass from the Great San Diego Fire. But your expression when I told you that at night investigating, I'd be in that ravine solo, no flashlight, no nothing, just right down in.
No, no,
I
I was. You know what I use? I use a Saint Benedict's cross. It's around
ooh.
here, a rosary, because Saint Benedict, oh my goodness, he told the devil to drink his own poison, and that's where Saint Benedict got all the power. Because how back then, how could you do that and say that to Satan? We're going to, you are it. You are the all. And so they use it for exorcisms.
Yep.
So I always tell people, you want to get rid of some Saint Benedict, his medal, his cross, his medal on his cross, whatever you want to get. And that's super powerful. But you were alone. And I was like, there's like no way. I wonder if I could get down to that bottom anyway. But
Oh,
I
it took, and see, here's the fun part. I wasn't at the bottom. I was actually, I don't know, I doubt it's still there, but just as you go down about maybe 30 to 40 feet in, there was an overhanging tree. And that's where we've seen this black mass. I can't even say the shadow because it wasn't. It was actually off a wall. It was a mass.
yeah.
I would go down and sit right in that brush. I would sit just right there. Just, you gonna do something? Let's go. Come
Yeah.
on. Let's
Bring it. Bring it.
I was that idiot. And
I was to say I'm smarter than that.
well, see, I've always said, and I still do, I still tell the Wicked Queen, and I've told all my teams, and I'm sure if you ever run into Stan again, he'll tell you. I've always said, if I'm pinned up against the wall, or I'm levitating somewhere, or I'm on a ceiling fan spinning around, don't help me. Yes, that's good evidence.
Put it on video.
I'm over 200 pounds. If I'm up on a ceiling fan spinning around in circles, you better be recording.
That's right.
If there's no better proof of the paranormal than that, CGI it. Go for it. But that was just one. But I told you, Debbie, before the show, and as most of you know, we all like to talk behind scenes. I had a story for you. So I have actually two. One's from the Whaley House, which, as most of you know, is a very popular location. I have my own opinions of the Whaley House. I respect it. It is haunted. I just don't like what they're doing to it, but that's just me. But I want to talk about the schoolhouse because that's not really a very well-known place. Now, in Old Town San Diego, folks, that is one of the original settlements, we could call it. A lot of history there, a lot of great architecture. It's almost like you're traveling back in time. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Behind, I want to say it's the Wells Fargo building that they have down there, is this little schoolhouse. And it's all original for the most part. And they have it all set up very, very nice. And we used to get children, EVP of children. Most of you, if you haven't experienced the spirit of a child, it would be kind of daunting to hear children's laughter come through a box, an electronic box. To us, it was like, oh, they're just playing. They're being kids. The one night I was filming, and I'm going to recreate this just to show you how funny it is. At night in San Diego, it's something completely different, especially in Old Town. Debbie, I'm sure you're well aware of this. I'm filming like this. And I'm just going around saying, okay, this is that. A helicopter came overhead. I was like, oh, it's a helicopter. My ADHD kicked in. And we thought we saw something in one of the windows of the schoolhouse. So, being a good investigator, I turned my camera towards said window. Most people, they look past the camera. I was looking into the camera, going like this. As I was getting close to it, I didn't see my camera. I saw this coming at me. I thought it was a hand coming back. I yelled so loud. We had security. We had the Rangers come by. I think the police stopped. My team thought I was dying. I was making up curse words. They thought I was getting attacked or something. Mm-hmm. I literally scared the out of myself at that schoolhouse. But it's so beautiful, and that's the other thing with the paranormal is you have to have fun. And I think, Debbie, you can attest to this. You get what you get out what you put in. If you go in with a light heart, compassion and that drive to really help, the spirits will relate to it. They'll figure it out. They'll help you out with your investigation.
Well, we go to Dearborn Cemetery here in Poway, California. It's because it's closest to me. But we did soul rescues. And so we would go. The worst thing I did, we talked about empaths the other day. The worst thing that Debbie ever did is I had my meetup group, and there was this very sweet little thing, and she was an empath. And she goes, I want to try to cross this one over. And I should have said, no. But I was back dealing with someone that was in my face talking, distracting me because the spirits were trying to go after someone with a cane and they pushed her almost over. All this was going on back where I was when she engaged this angry spirit.
Oh, geez.
She ended up on the ground of the graveyard crying and, just beside herself because she took on that person's energy. And I said, we can't, a lot of them don't want to be rescued. Yeah. They don't. They're not ready to go, or they're waiting for someone. And there's 2 people there that I should go over there and find out if they're still waiting. But, there'll be the grave next to them waiting for the wife or whatever. Yep. And they'll hang out. There was a little boy there that was really a little boy, because let me tell you guys, if you go to a place where they say this is haunted or bad things happen here and you see children, you probably are not seeing children. You are seeing, there's this little thing as you go up to archangels, fallen angels and stuff. And so when we start with the dark stuff, we're going to get this inky stuff. And so you can see black globs places, and they can mound up being bigger. So I call anything that's hanging in rooms scrabblies. And I told you yesterday I never watched paranormal stuff because I thought they were too scripted and taunting ghosts, and I wasn't in on the drama they were getting. Because if you go on, you're good, you're lucky. Oh, look at this did move, we got it. That's all we got all night, or we got nothing or something. And so anyway, the Dead Files came on TV and I never saw it, and she was talking about these things hanging from the ceiling, and she kind of draws it or whatever, and she showed it, and exactly what's in my book, The Little Book of Big Evil, which is true ghost stories. And so I go, oh, so we have scrabblies. They can't think for themselves, but if you live in a place that has that energy, and if there's a teenager, you got to be careful. They're going to be wearing black and trying to commit suicide. They're going to be super depressed. You have to get them out of that place. But then we can go up to where the scrabblies glob on and make a bigger glob. And then they take the shape of what we call the Gumby. So like a Gumby shape, but still they're dark. Now they can think a little in that they can take orders from something above them. So it keeps going on until you get into demons and then fallen angel, okay? So, but the kids when we get down to the Gumbies, they will, like turn into a vision of a child or act like it on your equipment, and they're not, because that child, if it is not going to be evil and not doing these things, that child's going to be in heaven if it's a child. So we know that it's an entity that likes to do that, gets you more engaged and closer to them.
And see, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of people who are scared of the children's spirits, and there's so many different theories about it. But that's one thing I love about the paranormal is, everyone's right. Everyone's right. I'm not saying I've had a bad experience with children's spirit, but I am more leery about it. But I'll just say that the kids that are presenting down at the schoolhouse, they're a lot of fun. They'll interact.
Kids. And they can be kids. 10th Avenue Art Center had up in the murder room and where they have a bar and they
Mhm.
drink after the shows. The murder room, and we call it that way because it's all painted red with bloody handprints all over. I
Fair.
got them the picture of famous horror movies and stuff signed by the cast. But the deal is that there was one little girl there, and then when you look at it, we do know that one little girl fell downstairs and was killed. I guess she broke her neck and she was killed. So I can see her, and sometimes they don't know. And I don't know why the other side didn't come to take them, you know, but they don't know they're dead or they're looking for their mom.
Yep.
And then when I'm dealing with this girl who has a guardian, a big guy there with her, way over across the way where the door opens to the bar opens up, and there's a little boy from a different era, and he's dressed that way with a ball, and he's rolling it towards us and stuff. So yeah, we can see that stuff. But there's lost spirits and all of that. There's spirits that don't want to go. I'm not ready yet, or it's more interesting here, or I'm lost.
Yeah.
So soul rescue is something that my group always, if we had the chance. The only thing that was a little crazy, if you go to these places that their profession is to take money and do tours and make it very haunted, you would not be allowed to do a soul rescue. They want to keep their ghosts, the hotels, everything. They don't want you giving peace to these entities, to these spirits.
Absolutely. And it's funny, speaking of that with the Whaley House, I've actually had a conversation with Thomas Whaley over Spirit Box of the SB7.
Wow.
And I'm known to ask really random questions. Case in point, when the Wicked Queen and I were at Penhurst, we were asking the spirits if they know about TikTok. Do they know about being TikTok trendy? And we were saying about RAR, the dinosaur. Anyway, I asked Mr. Whaley, and he said, Thomas, don't call him Mr. He doesn't like it. But I asked him, I said, what's it like to die? And immediately, as soon as I asked that question, my whole team, I was like, we're trying to find out. Why not just ask? Ask somebody who has experience with it. And very clearly through the spirit box, you get cold. Oh, okay.
That sounds right.
It's cold. Bring a sweater. Got it. Okay.
Parka.
The other location that I want to talk about, and we kind of touched on it yesterday, and I didn't get a chance, and I was holding it for just this occasion, and this is the last location we'll talk about. I know we're on a time crunch. Is Alpine Cemetery. That is one of my absolute favorite locations. It is very active. There is a slew of different spirits there. And, I actually had the opportunity. This young woman came out, and I can send you the YouTube video. She did a little documentary on us, and she did a thing about our investigation at Alpine. But there was two experiences there that to me really stand out. Now, when I ran SDPE, I learned I was more helpful for the team if I didn't investigate with them. I set them up in the groups and let them investigate. They were investigators. That's what I wanted them to do. That's what they, wanted to do. I was more of a support role. I made myself available to any team that needed. I'm standing in the middle of Alpine Cemetery, right up on the crest of the hill that overlooks pretty much everything.
Yeah. Right.
And I had my hoodie on, and I had my hands in, the pocket in front of a hoodie. I had my hands in there. And I felt this sharp pain right in my right arm. And I'm like, what the? And I pulled my sleeves up, and I look, and there is right here a perfect mouth print of something biting me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I went, you son of a...
You son of a Gumby.
Do it again.
I dare you.
I called my team over. We're sitting there. I'm looking at my arms. They took the pictures and everything like that. And sure enough, I got bit. A couple weeks later, we were there because, it's haunted. And
It's fun.
and the team comes up to me. We had a smaller group that night. I think there was only about 8 of us. And they came up and we were sitting there trying to figure out what we were going to do next and where we were going to go. Because obviously, now for those who don't know, Alpine Cemetery is a pretty decent sized cemetery. There's a lot to it. And we were trying to figure this out. And again, we were right around in the middle of Alpine Cemetery. There's like I want to say like a church or a chapel that is in the middle. I think you know which one I'm talking about, Debbie. Mm-hmm. And we're standing there just trying to figure out where we're going. And we kept hearing these footsteps. And we did a head count. We're all right there. We're like, okay, well, maybe it's one of the cops, because local and state would come out and check on us, make sure we were okay. We always called ahead. And we looked, no cars. Okay. We looked down this pathway. And for those of you who don't know, imagine like a perfect, like walkways, stone walkways in between, like dirt and gravel walkways in between the rows of headstones. We looked down one, and at the very end, we saw a soldier in about Revolutionary style clothing, rifle shouldered, just marching, just back and forth between these 2 bushes. We took off running at it.
Yes, thank you.
We did not see the gentleman. We saw his footprints, though. He made physical imprints of. We were assuming it was his because there was boot prints, and it was flat boot prints, like a cowboy boot style footprint, which makes sense if that was the time frame. And we were trying to call him out. We were trying everything we could. So we're under the impression it's a residual. Maybe was a camp at one point. And it was just,
of energy.
Yeah. He was just doing his thing.
Yeah.
But it's an absolutely beautiful location. But I will let you folks know, if you go to any of these locations, make sure you're letting local authorities know what you are up to. And ask permission. Obviously, do not trespass. And especially places like Alpine, you want to let them know what you're doing, because if there is, again, a safety issue, they know where you're at and they know what's going on. And they like it too. They respect it. And a lot of I don't know how many you ran into, but ask Janine and Chris. I ran into so many police and state troopers investigating the paranormal in San Diego that they would just pull up and go, "Oh, it's the ghost guy. Okay, he's good," and just drive away.
I never had a problem because the one in Dearborn and Poway was open 24/7. You can there would be a lot of people staying vigil and bringing ice chests and chairs and all kinds of stuff. But that Alpine Cemetery, so one thing, there was crazy stuff that happened one night I was there with them. And Chris has all the equipment. So it's just spirit boxes, everything. Mm-hmm. And so something kept saying, Marie, 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 or come find me or whatever, Marie. And we just like went around the corner and there's a big headstone, Marie. And we go, okay. But so you go in, you park in that little 3 spaces or whatever they have, and you can go left and you can go around everything and then around. But then they have this little hill thing down here. And there's where we got the haunted stuff. Mm-hmm. And they weren't even sure, like it's down here. So beware, everybody be ready because, whatever. There was a lot of engagement down there, especially by, I think, a young man spirit there. A lot of stuff. And so I go, I don't really need to go down there from now on.
The big rocks, the only thing I can compare it to is a smaller version of Devil's Den here in Gettysburg. Just these couple of boulders that just sit there. That holds so much energy. I'm not sure what kind of stones they are, but they hold so much energy, and that is just like a meeting point, I almost want to say, for the spirits in that cemetery. But anyway, before we get going, Debbie, go ahead. Give any shout outs you might want to give out before we get out of here.
No, I'm good. I'm on Psychic Fixes if you want to come on Monday, Wednesday, or Fridays, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Also, David Starlight is on Tuesdays. He's a wonderful spiritual man that does meditation, discussion, and then free readings for you on his show as well.
Awesome.
And we have an astrologer starting. And those of you that are from Psychic Fixes, surprise, you get to know first. So we have astrologer starting. Hopefully next week we'll have it together. So
Awesome.
we're just out to help and have fun. And I have my own business doing things, and I'm a writer, so things stay busy. And I'm also Wiccan, so I get a call from this guy. He had gone to the mausoleums down in Chula Vista area.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
some
yeah.
big mausoleum there.
Yeah.
And they were screaming on the phone, something's happened to one of them, the guy. I said, can you get in your car and drive him all the way up here to Rancho Bernardo? And they did. And I grabbed him out of the car and I hauled him to my backyard. I have a pool. I set him on a chair. I did my thing, cleared everything. He got there and he got inside and he became violently nauseated and disoriented and felt like he's being touched and all this stuff. And they couldn't like snap him out. So we had to I opened that door and I just grabbed him out of that car through my house because I wasn't going to have an attachment come through my house, got him into the back and, gave him water and this, that, and the other. So, I mean, you can, and I tell people, if you want to go to someplace haunted, don't discount you can't have that happen in your house. Because the most important thing that ever happened to me, and this is where I should have had cameras all over my house. I was sitting in my living room, my husband on the couch, and my little boy, my girlfriend's little boy, playing on the floor. When we had a TV that had like a lip like this on it, we just put that little remote there. Mm-hmm. I kid you not, this is the biggest thing that ever happened. That remote came off the TV. We're watching TV. It came off the TV, and then it started floating. It didn't go whoosh or bam or nothing. It floated slowly through the air, started at a decline, and then ended at my husband's toes of his shoes. Boom.
Wow.
It went across the living room, and I was just sitting there watching it. My husband goes, well, that was weird. And I'm like, do you understand now? What are we? He's like, no, I don't see ghosts and I don't know what you're doing. And I don't believe in what you're doing. And there are no ghosts or anything. And this thing comes, yes, there is. And so before I was taught the Wiccan stuff and everything, my house was open to anything. Anything coming around and doing whatever. So we'd hear this like boom in this. I have 5 bedrooms, and over in this wing, there would be a boom, like somebody took a box of books and let it go and hit we'd come up every time. Nothing in there or nothing wrong, nothing, anything. And it happened all the time. And we go, okay, we just forget it. It's nothing's there. And, guy, do we have time?
Yeah.
Do we have time? Okay.
Yeah.
So how I found out that spirits can't always read your mind. Okay. So I was woke up at 3 a.m.
Always.
And I was so tired. I thought at that time, because I watched TV growing up and it says midnight, the bewitching hour. Well, you guys, it's 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. And it would go, we have this little accordion door, wooden door, because we have like a door, a hallway, 2 bedrooms, and a master, all in the master. We have like this wing. And so I would hear bang, bang, bang. And I'd go, oh, guy, I'm sleeping. And I'll go to sleep. And the next day, bang, bang, bang. And I'd say, I can't help you.
No housekeeping.
Yeah, I was so fried. I was so fried. So I said, I just yelled one night and I said, I can't communicate with you. You will not do this 3 bangs on the door ever again and wake me up at 3 a.m. And it didn't happen.
Hmm.
So I have to get up early. I'm up in the wee hours of the morning. I'm going to use something I never use. I'm going to use an alarm. And I speak. I want to get up at 7:30. And my head goes, give you 10 more minutes. So I put 10 more minutes on it, but I didn't say it. And I put it down. And I wake up and I hear 4 proper knocks, not 3 bangs, because I told them never to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was awake and I'm like, I always rush to see if something's there. I don't know if I'm going to swing it open and finally see the angel or what, but I never see anything, right? But I turned around, took steps back, and I went, wait, clock 7:30. They are on a lower level. They cannot read my mind. They don't have permission because they woke me up with the 4 knocks, afraid that I wasn't getting up. And I had said it for 10 minutes later. So that's when I learned, because we have to go to spirits if the spirits are helping you, or maybe even if it's the guides. I think the guides can read your mind, but anything lower than that, they don't have permission. They can't. And that's how I validated that they cannot do that. So if I go, yay, they can't read my mind, but the rest can.
See,
So,
I'd assume that the guides could because they have that permission to have that personal
that
relationship.
connection. So I
Yeah,
think they can. But
I
I
think
think
they could.
whatever's under them that comes, spirits, people, or whatever that come in to help, I think they can. I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to teach you how to do something that's really helpful. When
Okay.
I wrote my first book, which was Timing the Tarot, because God said, this is how you time the tarot. And I wrote a book on it. Nobody else knew how to do it. And so I wrote it and I go, oh, I have one more sentence to write. I've got to get back in there and I'm going to have to go and I'm going to type it there. And oh my goodness, I left the book for a year on the laptop in a folder. I didn't want to go do it. I went on to other things. I was bored. And I go, a year later, I should do something with that. Well, somebody had said once that you ask your guides for an expert in a certain field. If it's fix a washer or whatever it is, ask them to bring that spirit forward. And I go, why not? And I asked them to bring a spirit that can help me publish my book, to come in and write that one part. And I go, well, Debbie, you have to at least open the laptop. And I guess you better double click the file. And I published the book that day.
That is awesome. Hey, before we go, Debbie, the one thing I find great about the paranormal is the feeling of always being watched. I don't know why, but that always excites me. And you guys over there hiding are no exception. I have some guests hanging out behind me. I heard you guys. And they're actual people, by the way, folks.
No, I was going to say, I think
Yeah,
you
hold
have
on. Let me do this. Look, I have. There, look, at creepy old guy.
Hi.
That's my brother Cyrus. You guys, if you follow me on a regular basis, that's he usually pops in every once in a while. But Debbie, I have to say it has been a privilege to hang out and chat with you, and we've got to do a part 2. I think we have.
Oh, we can anytime.
Oh,
we have so many stories and so many things. I teach all kinds of wonderful Wiccan things, all kinds of fun things. So yes, that'd be great.
And like I said yesterday, I need to get you connected with the Wicca Queen. I think we need to get you on her show.
How wonderful! I love the Wiccan way, and I amazing things happen. Oh, I have stories to tell on the next part too.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. And just as a reminder, for the rest of the month of July, I know we're getting the deadline, folks. If you go to my store, if you go to my merch store, paraconsultantstore.com, running right below, it's also in the description. Go check it out. All proceeds for the month of July will be going to a local charity called SHEETZ for Kids. It is something my work is doing, and we've been doing it for a while. And any donation, whether it's through Buy Me a Coffee, which is also in the description, or you can send me stars on Facebook, whatever, all the proceeds for the month of July will be going to that charity. I'll be doing it again in December, so if you miss out on this one, you'll be able to do it in December. But it's just giving back to the community. But go over and check it out, and we'll be having new merch coming out. As I'm going to try to do it as frequently as possible. But either way, head on over, follow the links in the description. Also, follow the links in the description for Debbie and what she's got going on. You will not be disappointed. I watched her show yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Her and Maddie are two beautiful souls, and with an amazing show. It's great. Debbie, again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. It is a privilege and an honor to speak with you.
It was great. And you guys from Psychic Fixes, do go look at the shop. The cutest sweatshirts, hoodies, the cutest ghost. I got to get one that he did on the ghost, and I want it in a tote bag too. So
you will have it. You will have it.
I want to help out with the charity, and so do go check his stuff out. And thank you. This is a lot of fun, Matt.
Anytime. So, guys, thank you again to Parapost Network Central for allowing me to do this. And don't forget to check out Global Ghost Hunt. And a huge thank you to my sponsor, Health Empowers You. Go check it out, healthempowersyou.net. Again, use code PC05 for even more of a discount than what it already is. So, I guess there's only one more thing left for me to say. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of your night. Have fun. Stay safe. But as always, guys, happy hauntings.